Well, joining us now for more is Jonathan Schanzer, Senior Vice President for Research at Foundation for Defense Democracies. He is also a Middle East expert. Jonathan, welcome. I want to start with the Israelis. They want assurances that the United States will stand with the Jewish state against internal and external threats. Is President Biden's trip there helping to provide those assurances, with this Israel being his first stop?
Well, actually, the big question is what kinds of messages will the Israelis be delivering with regard to the Iranian nuclear program, and how will the Biden team respond? How will the president respond? What's happening right now is that the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, this Iran nuclear deal of 2015, that the United States and some of its European allies, we've been trying to get back into it. And I think it's a big mistake from my perspective, and I think from the perspective of national security. However, this is what the president has been pursuing. It has really stumbled in recent months. The talks have really stalled in Doha. So the question is, can the Israelis get the president to agree that it's time to shift from a strategy of diplomacy to one of pressure? That would be, I think, probably the most important thing that the Israelis will raise with Biden. How he responds is yet to be seen.
Along those lines, Jonathan, as we mentioned right before Chris's report, in his op-ed today in the Washington Post, the president noted that he will be the first president to visit the Mideast since 9/11 with no troops engaged in a combat mission, adding that it's his aim to keep it that way. If Israel were to go to war to stop Tehran from expanding its nuclear program, would the United States have its back?
Look, I think the United States will have Israel's back. I think that has been the consistent policy from one president to the other, dating back to the 1940s, for that matter. The question really is whether the United States would be asked to get involved in a conflict where Israel was fighting Iran. The Israelis have made it clear for decades now that they don't want American troops on the ground. What they want is American political support, and they often or may ask for assistance in terms of being able to purchase additional arms should they run out. But the Israelis do not want American blood shed on their soil.
You know, the president is taking a lot of heat for heading to Saudi Arabia amid record high gas prices in the United States, notably after calling the kingdom a pariah in the wake of a U.S. intelligence report that confirmed the Saudi crown prince approved of the murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Why the apparent about-face?
Well, I think the energy crisis that we see that was prompted by Putin's invasion of Ukraine has sharpened the minds of the White House. In other words, for a long time, it was, I think, a popular move among some of the progressives in the Democratic Party to shun the Saudis. It really seemed like it was almost a binary between either supporting Iran or supporting the Saudis. Right now, I think the president realizes that some of this posturing, the politics surrounding this, really makes very little sense. The Saudi government sits atop the world's largest oil reserves in the world, proven oil reserves in the world. So it is now clear that the United States needs the Saudis to produce more oil so that we can begin to see that price lowered at the pump. It's pretty simple economics here. I think Biden understands it. It just doesn't look good to some of his progressive colleagues in Congress.
All right, Jonathan Schanzer with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. We so appreciate your time and insights. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Pleasure.